Episode 5, Season 3. Lou and the meeting of two friends. Let me make the sound lower. And prepare. I prepared everything. Now we can play. Psy. Forced explanation of a person's physical, intellectual, or otherwise personal resources is permissible only as a means of punishment. Blood manifest. Narcissus Wayne. Deflecting responsibility for your actions is an admission of weakness. Ouch. Honesty. Okay, let's say the sound is okay for you guys, or maybe to make it a little bit lower, or it's alright. I am also without any reverberations. It's okay. Or I can do it a little bit lower. It's alright. Let's make it lower just a little bit. Episode 5. Honesty. Eva closed the news channel. Lou stared at the cabinet with unusually keen interest. Kay cleared his throat as if he was about to say something but didn't utter a word. Martin spoke in a deliberately calm tone. You're silent. Will you allow me to keep my fragile hope by confirming that you have nothing to do with what happened? As we remember what happened, they made a shooting on the club. Jonas, our boyfriend, saved us with his connections with Shazam. And now we came to our boss, and our boss is recognized that we made this shooting and kinda made some shit. Such an amazing emotion. Yes. Yeah. I see. My hope is in vain. He is like this one nonchalant, how to say that in English? Nonchalant, yes. Like Isaac. This kind of guys he is like Isaac. No, like Stone, read. When I asked you to find the hacker and convince him not to cause a stir, did you conclude that it was only him who was required to be discreet? Conspiracy, as I understand it, is a complex concept for you and not always obvious. I was under the impression that the successful completion of previous tasks was a pattern based on your professionalism. And not just beginner's luck. I'm too emotional. He's not so emotional. And not just beginner's luck that was bound to run out. Now you seem to be showing me your real capabilities and skills. Or Eva is on his medications. He actually takes sedatives in that story. Yes. Actually. Um, excuse me, but we had no choice. We were approached by an aggressive group of the club's patrons. Our attempts to defuse the situation did not result in a positive outcome. She tried to answer as formally as possible. Their boss was sitting in front of them, and he had to decide how much Lou and Kay were to blame for what happened. There is no point in trying to come up with excuses that could backfire later. There was a threat that our identities would be revealed, which would have greatly reduced our chances of survival. In view of the operational situation we were in, I decided to eliminate one of the members of the aggressor group. He was the one who recognized Lou. Martin's icy gaze and tightly pursed lips clearly showed that he was displeased. Remembering how Jean-Pierre behaved while receiving a lecture from the prior, Lou stood up. Lifting her chin proudly, she said, Monsieur Prior, if you consider our actions rash, I am ready to be punished to the fullest extent without asking for anything. Kay, glancing sideways at his partner, also stood up and said, I support and echo Mademoiselle Reed's words. Then responsibility for this event lies just as equally with me. Ivo looked at his bodyguards. After a pause, he shook his head. It's much easier to read guides from the computer. Such a big, I can see a big, and it's hard to read from my phone, really. I don't know why. Initiate, accolade, at ease. So jumpy. Sit down. His voice, having lost its menacing and authoritative tone, became more familiar. Martin leaned back in his chair. Did you find the hacker? Tell me how it all went down. After listening to the psionics report, the prior thought quietly for a few moments. Then he asked, Monsieur Stone, what do you think about Foxy? Oh, yes! Yes, guys. I don't know why, but here, hacker's name is Foxy. And in Marvane, hacker's name is Foxy. But Mirai vibes. To tell the truth, in visual novels world, in Russian and countries who speak Russian language, this romance club is like a gold standard. It's the most popular visual novels game, and 100% that girl who is writing Mervein now on the 7 Hot Stories, 100% believe me, I'm sure she was reading Psy. I'm sure because Psy is kind of cool novel, and I'm sure she was reading it, and I can see she likes sci-fi also, so I think maybe she called this guy Fox because of this Foxy, maybe. Maybe. Hello, I'm okay. How are you? Big brother Uchiha. Now I want to drink, guys, because I ate that soup. Monsieur Stone, what do you think about Foxy? Thank you so much. I have no obvious conclusions. He seems to be an idealistic fellow, but not a radical. Prudent. Lou? Yes, I agree. His equipment is expensive, or so it looks. He paid someone at the club for security. Yeah, all the novel authors definitely know about Romance Club and read them for research. They were enjoying Romance Club. Some people started to write. Some people started to have a goal to become an author in these kind of games, visual novels, because Romance Club was very popular. Even people who never played it, even guys, they know Romance Club. They have different opinions about it, but Romance Club is very, like, in Russian community, it's a very popular game. 100%. 7 Heart Stories and other games like Romance Club was created only because Romance Club exists. If Romance Club wasn't existing, there is no Mervein, no 7 Heart Stories, no League of Dreamers, no other games, because Romance Club was the first one. And then already the other apps started to be. His equipment is expensive, or so it looks. He paid someone at the club for security. So he has money. He knew who we were, but agreed to talk and listened carefully. He is being involved in serious hacks and hasn't been caught yet. In general, he's good. I think he will do as we say. He will take our advice. Especially after the shootout. Great. Does this friend of yours, Shazza, knows why you visited Nitro? Neither he nor his people asked. Lou added to make a conclusion. Guys, I don't know how to read that words, that's why I'm making my words. Jonas won't tell anyone, that's for sure. Reassurance. I trust him as I trust myself, if not more. Lou. Yes? I understand, don't worry. Eva is such a good boss. Thank you, Dada. Eva thought quietly again. The psionics waited silently. Today, just one of you will be enough. The partners looked at each other. It's my turn. Okay. Lou, you have spent the night on your feet. How are you feeling? Lou didn't lie. I can manage now, but by this evening, I'll be very tired. Okay, I promise I will let you go early. Kay got up. Monsieur Martin, Lou. When the empath left the office, Eva called the Waze. An understanding boss, only fictional again. Yes. After briefly explaining to her the situation with Foxy, the prior asked, Watch the network. We are not looking for anything specific, but keep your fingers on the pulse. Understood, Monsieur Prior. I will let you know if I see anything interesting. In addition, call in the Inquisition's interrogators. That means everyone in the city except Mark and Guller. He looked at his watch. At 3 p.m. Understood. Call Hans Guller now. Waze left. Lou was confused and asked, "What? Have we ruined everything? What if we left some traces at Nitro? Was Guller the Inquisitor who arrived? Was Guller the Inquisitor who arrived on the scene at the club?" Yes. Lou frowned slightly. Lou? I'm sorry, but why exactly was he there? Why would he be so interested in a gang shootout that he arrived at the same scene so quickly? Lou, don't underestimate Hans. He's an experienced interrogator and has been in the service for many years. He definitely has his informants in different circles. Perhaps he found out that a serious hacker hides in Nitro. A shootout at his particular club would then attract his attention. How we ruin everything? The disturbance intermediary isn't doing you any favor right now, is it? He pursed his lips, displeased. Right, this is very unfortunate. Due to our late choices, Eva communicates more openly with Lou. Yes. Martin showed his good opinion of Lou by clarifying. The church is growing in influence very quickly and is gaining more and more opportunities to make a show of its power. The situation is becoming increasingly tense, just as the vicar wanted. Ordinary people are frightened by unrest. They are afraid of incidents that disrupt the status quo. It reminds me Neo. Yeah, Starlit Road, really kinda, yeah. But I think Neo is more beautiful, in my opinion. I don't know, Evo is too... I don't know, Evo doesn't look like a real person a little bit. I don't know, he's like a corpse. I don't know why. Don't really like how they drew this, you know. But in Marvane, another story, that means that they will increasingly criticize the authorities, especially the council, who are those managing the police. Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill. I have to adapt to it quickly and adjust my plan. Sorry. Don't apologize. When I sent you to find Foxy, I was aware of the risks. Termitory is a peculiar place. You already did the most important things. You shielded me from a bullet and gave me something that will help me beat Jean-Francois. Lou raised her eyebrows. Me? What did I give you? Martin narrowed his eyes predatorily. The knowledge that he is the one who wants to kill me. Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, I don't understand how that. The prior nodded, unfazed, then, to her surprise, winked at her. Realizing that she wasn't going to get an answer, Lou smiled. Shimmer. She stood up. I won't distract you from your work any longer. Lou. Hans showed up right on time. If he felt Lou's hostile gaze, he didn't show it. Okay, guys, who didn't know? Hans, one day when we just got this work, he was giving strange, like, you know, he wanted to. He was saying that he wants something with us. And he said, I can help you to become someone in this work if you will sleep with me, kinda. And what we did, we said, fuck you, Hans Kühler, I don't want to be your girl, and decided to go out. That's why we do not like him. Monsieur Prior, Monsieur Güller, report. In what order? Chronologically. How did you end up at the scene of the shootout at the club called Nitro? How does this relate to the task you have been given? I collected information about programmers and accordingly alleged hackers. That includes places where they often relax and receive their orders. The Nitro nightclub made the list. According to available information, a respected hacker shows up there on a regular basis. It looks like he is one of the few people smart enough to be able to hack the projectors. What do you mean by one of? Anything more specific? Unfortunately, no. Neither the name nor the online username could be found. The technical team also has nothing. Whew. Whew, that's good. It turns out that our Danielle is better than you. Well done. She found Foxy immediately. Guller glanced sideways at Lou. Then he continued. After receiving reports of the shooting at Nitro, I requested additional support from the Assistance Corps. Unfortunately, it took a while for the officers to arrive. By the time we got there, the police were already at the scene conducting operational activities. The block has been cordoned off. I added at least one officer from the corps to each post. Our help was accepted without objections. Objections. Police are aware of the danger Termitary poses. Drop the dramatic. What about the club? We have every reason to join the investigation and demand access to all material on this case from the police. Beninging. Fuck. Yes. At least one telekinetic psionic took part in the shootout. This is clearly indicated by witness testimonies and the nature of the damages. And there is something else, Monsieur Prior, if I may. Hans stepped closer to the table, took out his phone and showed the screen to Martin. About 30 minutes before the start of the shootout, a woman was looking for the hacker there. The identikit is bad, of course, but both men looked at Lou. She pretended with all her mind that she didn't understand what was happening. I wouldn't have recognized the face of Mademoiselle Reed if we hadn't worked together. Crap. The bartender? Yeah, for sure. Crap. Perhaps the Mademoiselle wants to earn a quick promotion? He smiled unpleasantly at Lou. This is not the first time. She conducts investigations on her own without authority. She puts operations at risk and disrupts other people's work. What a bastard! When did I disrupt someone else's work? It was said calmly. Thanks for the information. I'm glad that it came to you and that you informed me so quickly. That shows your professionalism. Yes, Mirai vibes. He's very bad. I really like these emojis. Listening to his boss freeze and realizing that he might have gotten Lou in trouble, Hans stood a little taller all of a sudden. Glad to do my part. It's the person who will lick boss ass. Really, guys. With great pleasure, by the way. After a short pause that allowed the interrogator to savor that moment, Martin said very naturally, "Of course, there is an annoying problem. Monsieur Prior? Mademoiselle Reed is my security detail. Her reputation must be impeccable. And well, right now we have this." Realizing what he was implying and trying to gain even greater favor from the head of Inquisition, Hans said in an obsequious tone, "Don't worry, I will sort it out. There is nothing significant about Mademoiselle's appearance here. Therefore, if you allow me..." "Yes, I'll delete the data about her. The report. Okay, let's say that word. The identikit. Nothing has been added to the report yet, and as for the identikit..." The interrogator pointedly pressed something on his phone. "Now that's gone as well." As expected of someone of his stature, Eva nodded restrainedly. Martin tricked him. Such an interesting... She have Martin tricked him without directly ordering it. He got this idiot to clean everything up so eagerly. Thank you. Now, what about the club? Expensive computer equipment was discovered in one of the rooms. Unfortunately, as I said, the police got ahead of us. Their technicians will study everything first. The police also collected shell casings, bullets, and blood samples. Fuck, case gone. However, the car transporting the evidence didn't reach the department. That's good. This game, it's very long to say that. On my YouTube Arisama Twitch stream recordings, like something like that, I have the 2 seasons. If you want, you can watch them. It's very long to talk, to say what is that game about. There has been an attack. The police were shot with automatic weapons. One officer is in critical condition and the rest are dead. The evidence is gone. Holy shit. Eloy and his thugs should remember the people who had been accidentally shot dead in the club. It could have been them. Those guys have no boundaries. It's clear why they would have wanted to. Eloy's blood and the blood of his people were there too. They have to take mandatory medical checkups, don't they? And the shell casings. One never knows. Maybe their weapons have already appeared in other cases. Oh, what will happen now? The police don't show their faces intermediary until gangs get too bold. But this is to put it mildly too much. It won't just end with a wave of raids, and no one will be thanking Eloy for that. Some people's business will suffer, others will go to prison. If he had just let us go, everything would have been fine. Meanwhile, Hans continued. The AC already has their first report ready regarding Termitary. The unrest continues and the level of danger remains high. Objectively, the police won't be able to maintain control of the situation without our support. The past years of their less than productive work are taking their toll. Gangs are organized and equipped with firearms. A second wave of lootings and robberies is predicted for tonight. Show me the locations of the most heated clashes between the gangs and the police. Eva turned on a holographic map of the city. There are several here, here, and here. Who is there from the corps commanders? After listening to Guller, the prior sent him off to continue searching for the hacker. When the interrogator left, Martin just shook his head and smiled at Lou. He did not reproach her or make any comment. Apparently, he isn't the type to lecture someone twice on the same subject. Lou and Daniel's lunch breaks coincided, so the women decided to eat together. Lou went to her room quickly to get a pair of sunglasses. Girl, we want sunglasses, okay. Anti-glare. Bad. No. Oh. I like black and yellow. But not very much. Violet. Wait, I don't want to spend a lot of money, really. Let's use violet. On the way to the cafe, Waze commented. You look worried. I'm worried about Foxy's computers. The police are checking them. I wonder what they will find in there. Can you tell me what you saw there? A dozen monitors. They looked ordinary. Were the screens all holographic? No, some were glass, some were holographic. Functional work monitors, not for fun. The keyboard was old. Huh? With buttons, not holographic. That's a question of taste. It doesn't mean anything. The floor and the walls were concrete. There were a lot of wires, cabinets with some flashing lights. There were a lot of wires. Regular wires. Like the one you have at home, or thick cables. Thick cables. They were probably regular wires too, I don't remember. But they were definitely thick cables. What else? Cabinets with some flashing lights, as tall as a man, maybe taller. Service? I don't know. Danielle took out her phone. Just a second. Going online, she typed something into the search bar. Then she showed Lou a picture on the screen. Like this? Yes. Were there many of them? At least 3. Lou shrugged. Yes, it's a mobile game, but they have it on Steam. That's it. At least that's all I remember. Judging by your description, that was solid equipment. That means high energy consumption. If a regular residential block consumed that much, the AC or the police technicians would suspect something. He needed to hide his activities. For example, he could use power from some kind of production factory or energy-intensive facility, like a nightclub. Lighting in a large building, refrigerators, a kitchen, the energy load is high. Yes, it was a smart move. That's why no one noticed powerful computers being there. What does that mean? Foxy was settled in there. That wasn't a temporary setup, so he would have definitely prepared for any unforeseen circumstances. I'm sure that when he left, he was most likely able to quickly and thoughtfully wipe all media from his devices. The police technicians won't find any information there. As they entered the cafe, Lou suddenly froze. Damn. Lou? The police arrived at Nitro before Guller. What if they took Foxy and decided to hide him from the Inquisition interrogator? No, Neff. No, don't worry. I already saw Foxy appear online. What? Hackers are interested in the news too, and Termitory is what everyone is talking about right now. The prior told me to keep my finger on the pulse, so I checked out the most interesting places. Mirai vibes. What if the author of Marvane was so in love with this guy, Foxy, that she decided to make her own story with this character? Let me show you. I am making my I'm making my own already, guys. You know. Okay, wait a second. Foxy. looks kinda like Kaiden a little bit. Let me show you. Oh, what Kaiden? Not Isaac. Something familiar between them. You see? Foxy. About what? Yes. They look at his hair. He is like Isaac and face. He is like Isaac, but he is blonde. That's not. I'm saying that's not. We are reading now 2 stories in one app and on the other app, and there are 2 foxes and they are hackers and they look alike, like brothers. But he is blonde and Isaac is... He looks like an elf. But he does look like an Isaac. Toilet Road. Marvin Isaac. Okay, let's look at him too. At the Isaac. Wait, guys, I need to think about it. Wait. I really need to think about it. Yes, maybe Mirai vibes. Look. Why? Wait. Oh my god. Isaac became so big. No, let's delete it. Guys, I need to talk about it. It's very important, okay? It's really very important. I don't care that it will be a long way, but let's just... Oh my god, Isaac, why are you so big? Can you become smaller a little bit, please, Isaac? It's too much. Detectives. Look, guys. Look at them both. Okay, look. Let's think about it, okay? Let's think. We have 2 novels. They have the same vibe. In my opinion, they have the same vibe. The same colors, even. The same vibe. So we have Foxy on this novel. He's a hacker. And we have Fox on the other novel. And maybe it's Isaac. Maybe it's Isaac. So what the fuck is going on? Why? They look alike. They really look alike. They have these eyes. They look like brothers almost. They have the same vibe. Everything seems so obvious. Yes. Of course. The person who is making Mervane knows about Isaac or about Foxy. It can't be just like, really. You see it? I see it very clear. Yeah, I really need to. I'm not really watching her content now because I'm not interested in Romance Club now so much as in the past. The Briar told me to keep my finger on the pulse, so I checked out the most interesting places. What Toilet Road? I think it is true. I see it. They settled down at the father's table where no one could hear them, then placed their orders. Lou spun a glass of slightly under-salted salgam in her hand. Daniel? Yes? To you, they don't really look alike. For me, they do. They are both... Maybe they are both hackers. What if Isaac have a brother and he decided to become blonde and it's his twin? Huh? And he looks like... For me, they look alike very much. They have the same vibe. How you don't see it? They just have the same vibe. You don't feel it? Look, the same lips, the same nose, the same stare. They have the same vibe, just very, very much. Don't you see it? Just really the same vibe they have. I see it, and I don't even, not even see it, I feel it. Yes. Okay. Oh, I don't know. For me, it's almost one person now. Foxy and Isaac. Such a big universe. Yes. How did you end up working for the prior? This choice affected your relationship with Daniel. Okay, guys. Let's... Not really eyebrow different, nose different, hair different, but on the first look, I will say they look alike. Guys, of course, she will not make 100% the same. She can't, because it will be too obvious, you know? She just can't say, like, to give this guy as a reference. I come from a quite ordinary family. I studied diligently and went to listen to the sermons. But you know how it happens sometimes. In my youth, I had a reckless streak. And it's not that my parents were so strict that they led me to challenge them and their rules. No, I just wanted a thrill. A rebellious spirit and all of that. Yes, some people get drunk with friends, start smoking, slam doors, and shout that they hate the world. I started hacking. Little things just for fun. Gradually, I got carried away. I wanted a more powerful computer. I had a very simple one at first, and there was nowhere to get the money for an upgrade. Well, one day I decided to take an order to hack a large store supplier list. He was probably coming from some competitor. Lol. Gradually, hacking became a relatively stable source of decent income. Not only did I buy myself a powerful computer, but I also started supporting my family. I told them that the money came from a technical support job for some offices. I started cultivating specific relationships online. One day, a guy suggested working together, and I stupidly agreed. The police found him, and he immediately turned me in. What a bastard. What did you hack? A police server. We downloaded a piece of the database, a list of informants. We wanted to sell it intermediary, but we didn't have the time. Maybe it's for the best. How did you get away with it? Glory to the one. I had never personally met that hacker. We only communicated digitally. The police couldn't prove my involvement. The case was closed, but they put me under surveillance. However, that wasn't the main problem. On one hand, I was truly scared. I fully understood that I could be arrested. On the other, I didn't want to give up everything that I had learned over several years and I was already good at. So I went all in. Raising an eyebrow in bewilderment, Martin looked at the woman standing before him. Daniel Weiss, I don't believe we have met before, and this is the first time I've heard your name. Let's see. The secretary standing behind them coughed intensely. Eva turned his gaze to him. I don't remember arranging this meeting. The man assigned by the office as the prior security hesitated. His computer clearly showed a meeting scheduled between Weiss and Martin, so he had led her into the office. The secretary himself was quite sure that he hadn't added that meeting to the prior's agenda, but the record was there nonetheless. The head of the Inquisition could have made the appointment himself, and being an extremely busy person, simply forgotten to warn him. Or maybe he didn't consider informing him necessary at all. It seemed logical. However, now that it was clear that Eva Martin was not expecting that person, the confused secretary slowly started to panic. Ciao ciao. The young woman, who was completely different from the usual visitors to Martin's office, smiled mischievously. Yeah, maybe she kinda looks like Alice a little bit. I beg your pardon, Monsieur Prior. If you allow me, I will explain. Allow. It was a little trick on my part. Did you seriously just waltz in? Why are you so surprised? I may look like one, but I've never been a square. Okay, go on. Daniel said firmly and calmly. I added this meeting to your schedule. Curiosity rose to Martin's eyes. Interesting. Did I understand you correctly? You hacked into the Inquisition's internal network and accessed my secretary's account? The prior's secretary seemed about to faint. No, it's impossible to hack your entire network. Some individual parts, however, yes. Some chats, some archives. Although, if you want, I can give it a go. This time I made do with your secretary's phone. It is synchronized with his work computer. Eva looked again at the man who was still standing there behind Weiss. Thank you. Leave me with Mademoiselle Weiss, and tell Moretti, if he is there, to come see me in half an hour. If he is not, bring him to see me immediately upon his return. The door closed behind the secretary. The prior pointed to a chair. Please, I will admit it. I'm curious to hear what a person might want to tell me so eagerly that they are ready to go to prison for it. I want to work with you. Why not use the usual channels to get into the Inquisition stuff? Because I'd have to fight my way up for years against the children, lovers, and friends of those who already hold a position. Moreover, I specifically want to work for you. Why? The salary is good and everyone is afraid of you, which means they don't bother your stuff too much, and unfortunately I've had a minor disagreement with the police. Besides, as my boss, I would be loyal only to you. Martin frowned. Mademoiselle, sadly your ambitions do not. Give me 4 hours and I will show you the real holes in your system. I will be useful to you. After closing the next day's AC patrol call sign list and several accounting reports, the prior silently handed his small computer to Weiss. He once again looked carefully at her. Then he asked, "Can you make a coffee?" Actually, as you can see, I can dig into your security systems, patch them up. I understand, mademoiselle, this is essential, but what about coffee? Long story short, I had to quickly learn how to make good coffee by a suit and graduate from the Faculty of Business Management in absentia. Naturally, the police couldn't really dig into the prior's new secretary. So you're done with hacking? Of course, I now only do it for Monsieur Prior's personal needs. She paused and added, and to keep my skills from getting rusty. Of course, yeah, well, of course. In fact, I must admit, I wouldn't dare to do such a stunt now. Lou smiled at the elegantly dressed woman with impeccable manners. Oh no, Daniel, I think you had dared to do much more now. Due to early choices, Lou is more worried about Jonas. You don't trust her? As they paid and got ready to leave, Lou said, "Sorry, Danielle, do you mind if I make a call?" "Of course not." Jonas didn't answer right away. Maybe because I was talking like this, you don't... She's nice, I think. Jonas didn't answer right away. "Hello, my boyfriend." "Hey." "How is your head?" "It doesn't hurt. I'm at the hospital. I swallowed all the pills I should have, and I'm fine." "What about you?" "I'm fine. I hope you are not intermediary. There are raids going on all over the place." "I'm in the center." "Okay, then see you later." Later. Ah, that's why. There was still time left in her lunch break. Lou had an ice cold shower and washed her hair. Afterward, she held a hair dryer in one hand while gulping down an energy drink with the other. "Girl, let's choose a hairstyle." "Why you have so bad hairstyle here? I don't know." "Oh my god." Such a shitty hairstyles they have. What the fuck is that? This line, what is that? It's so bad. You see this line? What the fuck is that? Only 2 variants. This story is making me feel so bad. The story is good, guys, but hair and like clothes. Okay, I will wear a ponytail for now. Then she changed her clothes. I understand they wanted to make their own fashion, but guys, I don't understand this fashion at all. I will choose this one only for the big, wide, you know. I don't want slim jeans. I feel like they had different artists. One did the character. I don't know. Maybe this artist is not the best one. Sorry. Really? She heard a brief knock on the door. "Reed, did you fall asleep in there? Be in the waiting room in 10 minutes. "Yes, I'm coming. "Don't scream at me, boy." Accompanied by Lou, Martin entered the meeting room. The Inquisition interrogators who had been summoned were already waiting there. Hector appeared next, closing the doors behind him. The questions that had been prepared didn't directly concern the head of security, but it was clear that he preferred to stay up to date with current news. By now, you should all be aware of the situation intermediary, in order to prevent a possible change in the location and site of the unrest. The Inquisition, including the AC forces, will provide support to the police. This aims also to strengthen our control over the possession, carrying, and use of weapons. Let me emphasize our role again: support and nothing else. You are forbidden from providing information or allocating officers at the disposal of police commanders. The participation of officers in police operations is only permissible either in the event of an attack security post blocking the area or after they consult directly with you. You must complete your tasks without allowing fatalities among the personnel entrusted to you. Some corps employees have already taken up combat duty. The rest must be placed on high alert within 8 hours. Make your own assessments and prepare ammunition. I'm thinking, like, how really? First, Life is Strange out of the list. Then, Hogwarts Legacy out of the list. How it happens? I think sometimes the roulette, like, programmed this way to make these jokes. Maybe. I don't know. He turned on a holographic map of the city. Given the coverage, it's important to reinforce New Paris' current officers. It is necessary to remote officers who are guarding posts nearby but outside of the city. Leave only the minimum required numbers of officers in those locations. Until further notice, a cross-supervision system will be in place. In addition to your usual areas of responsibility, you will support the interrogators whose jurisdiction includes dormitory. Your working connections are the prior assigned interrogators one by one. There were 2 left. The first was Richard, already familiar to Lou, and the second was a woman. As for you, Mademoiselle Ardy, visit the police stations that are holding detainees one by one. Read the transcripts of their interrogations. We need a reason to do so. Genetic security. At Nitro, someone used psionic abilities after all. You will receive all the necessary accompanying papers from my secretary. It is unlikely that any cases involving looters and similar rabble will fall under our jurisdiction. However, your task is to observe them and obtain as much information as possible. Yes, Monsieur Prior. If you come across anyone who witnessed the illegal use of Psi, immediately take them in and send them to the corpse. Richard, you will take care of them. Standing a little to the side, Lou was deep in thought. Obviously, after the arrest of Gaspard Blanc at the recent party, it's better that Richard does not cross paths with secular authorities. Blanc was captured by the Inquisitor for, as he put it, digging into the Cardinal. If he was digging, he's probably a high-ranking police official. Remembering the half-naked, long-haired man, Lou thought that at first glance she would have hardly guessed his position. Preliminary interrogations, no protocols. Preliminary interrogations, no protocols. All reports are for my eyes only. Eva kept handing out tasks. Some of those present clarified some details and discussed possible issues. Martin glanced at the empty glass of the table and looked for water. But he didn't find any. Did Danielle not prepare any? She probably forgot to put it on the table. Yes, I think I should go and get some water. We're in the Inquisition building and Beretti is here. Ivo is definitely not in danger. Quietly trying not to draw attention to herself, she left the room. Lou walked quickly to the reception area. Further down the hall, standing in the doorway of Martin's office, Waze was giving instructions to the cleaner who had likely been called in to tidy up while the prior was away. Not waiting to distract Danielle, Lou decided to grab a bottle of water herself. What was what? That's when she saw Charlotte Sardou sitting on the sofa. Consular? Mademoiselle Reed, Can you tell me how long will the prior be occupied? I came to talk to him without calling first, but he wasn't here. I really wanted to talk to him in person today. However, there is a lot to do and now it looks like I can't wait any longer. Mademoiselle Sardo, I don't know when he will be free, but I can tell him that you are waiting. That would be extremely kind of you. Yeah, Mirai vibes, I'm trying. Lou returned to the meeting room just as silently as she left it. She placed the water next to Evil and slid a note beside it. Sardu is in the waiting room. There was gratitude in Martinson's brief glance. He stared at the piece of paper. Then, without taking his attention away from the meeting, he poured himself a glass and took a few sips. A couple more important points. After quickly ironing out the last planning details, Ivo checked in with the Inquisitors. Any questions? Everyone was silent. There were no more questions left. Get started. Sardu stood up to greet him. Monsieur Prior. Greetings, Consiglor. To what do I owe this sudden visit? When I hear that Consiglor, I'm thinking about the makeup Consiglor, you know? Like a Consiglor. Can we talk? Of course. Wait, show Mademoiselle Sardu to my office. Follow me, Consiglor. Daniel led Charlotte away. Eva looked at some papers on his secretary's desk, then turned to Lou. That's all for today. Go rest. Thank you. I'd like to stay a while longer. Girl, are you crazy? Okay, stay if you want. Are you sure you're tired? If you allow me to, I will work through all your meetings till the end of the day. That's it. Of course, in the conversation with Sardu is not private. No, it's not, Mirai vibes. We already have relationships with Jonas, so other variations are closed already for us. He nodded toward the office. Let's go. Ivo sat in his chair. So, how can I help you, mademoiselle? Not me personally, the city perhaps. My visit is a sign of goodwill. The council does not seek conflict with the Inquisition. May I speak honestly? Ivo waved his hand slightly, motioning for her to continue. I'm listening. The church has already expanded its influence, and among other concessions to the clergy, the Inquisition received decision-making priority and curatorial control over all law enforcement agencies in the event of social unrest. Of course, you understand, no one in the council has any illusions about the vicar's appetites. He always wants more. Given this fact, many have found the timing of the disturbance intermediary rather suspicious. In the end, we had an agreement. Monsieur Prior, is it worth trying to shake up the situation? In any case, your authority over all security forces will only be temporary. Mademoiselle Sardu, I give you my word that I didn't receive any orders from the vicar to incite this turmoil. That's what you were implying, wasn't it? I have no doubt that, given the opportunity, the church will take advantage of the situation to increase the people's loyalty to itself. However, the only task I have given at the moment to the Inquisition is to ensure the safety of the population while assisting the police. My English is getting better when I'm reading these novels. You know, guys, due to the fact that I'm already reading the 3rd season of that story, I kinda can read it better. But Marvain have a little bit other language, and it's hard for me to read it. You're acing this episode. You're acing. Acing, it's like you're making it cool. Sarda was clearly embarrassed, no longer sure to be right. Yeah, because I already heard that words many times on this novel. That's why I can read them more easily. Growing, guys. Thank you. But perhaps one of the cardinals decided to take the initiative. Acing doing a very good job. Consiler perhaps is too vague a term to constitute proof. Oh, Monsieur Prior, I hope you didn't find my concern offensive to you. I'm just like everyone else extremely worried about the fate of New Paris and its citizens, and this applies to an even greater extent to those who live intermediary. I was working as an actress, but don't want to be an actress now. Let me ask a question in return. Of course, the riot started with a shutout at a nightclub. Someone called the police, which is somewhat unusual for termitory, but possible. What followed, however, is what perplexes me the most. Maybe you know why only one patrol car responded to the call? Given the nature of the neighborhood, it's quite dangerous, isn't it? Extremely dangerous, Consular. Whoever sent the patrol to Nitro effectively condemned them to death. Condemned. Leaning back in her chair, Charlotte raised an eyebrow and said quietly and thoughtfully, "Interesting. And attacking a police car is a huge act of provocation. Be that as it may, if you are right and all this isn't an accident, you can't organize something like this without the aid of someone in the police force. Perhaps you should take a closer look at your own people?" "Thank you, Monsieur Martin." "You're absolutely welcome, Mademoiselle Sardou. I didn't tell you anything." Charlotte nodded. "Understood. Should I inform the consul that we talked and that you promised to think about my concerns?" "Fine." After watching the consular girl go, he looked at his watch. "Lou, should I arrange for someone to take you home?" "Ivo, I'm fine. I'll get there myself." "Okay, see you tomorrow then. Please tell Daniel to send Hector in." As she was leaving, Lou heard Ivo's ringing. Report, RD. Guys, I'm here. I want to drink. I'm here. Hollywood, what? Oh, that's much better. It's because of yeah, it's water. No, it's a water, guys. It's because of tom yum soup. Too salty. Stopping her bike, Lou pulled the helmet off her head. At the checkpoint, there were people in black uniforms, assistance corps officers. However, the one who approached her was a police officer, at least in appearance. The power was still in the hands of the secular authorities. "Documents, mademoiselle." Taking out her driver's license, Lou looked around. A little to the side were those who were obviously not being allowed intermediary. Lou Reed, I have to ask you to wait for a check. Access to this area is restricted. A confirmation of your level of loyalty and the absence of previous offenses is required. It's actually not safe here right now. It is better for you to refrain from visiting this part of the city. I live here. She put her hand in another one of her pockets. Will this speed things up? A beige that I'm living in assistance corps. Yes, of course, initiate. The police officer returned to his man and waved his hand. Let her through. A tall man stepped away from the group of people waiting and immediately approached the official cause. Hey, why is she allowed in but not me? My child is waiting at home alone. Let me pass, have some mercy. I told you the officer on duty will check your documents and then you will pass. Lou nodded at the AC officers and put her helmet back on. On the way home, Lou saw traces of local rioting, burned trash cans and broken windows here and there. But nothing more, no blood, no bullet marks on the walls. This episode is kinda boring. She brought in her motorcycle and changed her clothes, then began to tinker with the kitchen block. By the time it started to beep annoyingly, a sign that dinner was ready, she had lost her appetite. All day long, she had managed to periodically push away detailed memories of the fight with Lloyd's people. She hoped that if she didn't think about it, if she didn't focus on it, she would be able to distract herself and move on. But at that moment, along with her own thoughts, she realized that it wasn't going to work. The thug she killed appeared again before her eyes. Blood, bulging eyes, mouth twisted in grimace. Lou looked at her hands. It almost felt like they were going to spontaneously repeat the same movement they performed during the fight. She closed her eyes, but that made it even worse. I killed a man. Motherfucker. I killed. There was probably an explanation for that unexpected subconscious behavior, but Lou knew nothing about the vagaries of the psyche and the peculiarities of the brain. She just sat on the bed and stared blankly at one point on the wall. Someone else's death occupied all her thoughts. Several minutes passed before Lou stood up and poured herself a drink. Her hands were shaking. Lou took only a sip and poured out the rest. It's the first time that when she made it, I think, yeah? She's living in assistance corps. Of course, she have to work with a very, people like this. And yeah, it happened. She killed. Oh my god. Yes, I will play a game tomorrow. I will. Of course. It was either us or him. I had no other choice. She curled up, burying her face in her knees. Fuck. It's his own fault. It's his own. It was his choice. The carousel of bloody images from the previous night was interrupted by a phone call. Seeing the name that flashed on the screen, Lou answered. Hey. Hello, Lou, are you home? Uh-huh. I'm intermediary at the hospital. We are swamped here due to the riots. I came to help with bandages and little things like that. As a doctor, I was let through the checkpoint. Now to go back, I'll need to go through another one. I'm tired. Lou stood up abruptly. Damn, is it really that bad? Did you treat a lot of people? No, not many. I'm just tired. I wanted to ask if I could spend the night at your place. Can I? Of course, shall I pick you up? No, thank you. A friend will give me a ride. By the time the healer appeared, Lou had pulled out the food she had prepared. Hello. Hungry? Yeah. It's me then. I'm joking. Wait. Lou nodded toward the table. Sit down. I will sit with you. I haven't yet eaten either. After dinner and a shower, Jonas poured himself some tea. He picked it up, went to the window to open it, and lit a cigarette. Lou, clicking her lighter, approached him. She looked at the healer's shoulder, covered in goosebumps. That's why this game called Romance Club. A slight draft had cooled his skin, which wasn't yet completely dry. Lou touched the scar with her lips, her scar on his body. You know, you smell like flowers. It's interesting. Girl. You only have one type of soap in there. Yeah, it's all part of my plan. Yeah. Lou's gaze fell on a new scar, almost invisible in the room's half light. Damn, another one. Oh my, we have a picture here. Very strange. I don't like this picture, guys. Because, like, you see, look at his face. His face is really strange. Really strange. Look at his face. What's wrong? Jonas. Not very cool. Yeah. Jonas, noticing her frowning expression, said, This morning at the center, kidney necrosis. Blood transfusion and surgery were necessary. Without the intervention of a healer, the patient could have been at risk. She wants to become a dentist. Have you ever met a single kid who dreams of becoming a dentist? Lou shook her head. Neither have I. Strange thoughts of a 6-year-old girl to have. Sophie North. The man poked at another scar, an old one. This is Ilham Abit Bol. He is a little older than me. An accident. 9 hours on the surgical table. Everything inside him was stitched back together piece by piece. He got married recently. He sent me photos. Oh, guys, he is a healer and he can healing a person. Like, even from a very, very, very bad things, he can save people's life. But he got scars. He got like half of their pain and scars, and after this, he have to feel all that shit. Oh my god. People are so thankful to him, of course. Too sexy for this shirt. You see scars and torn skin, but I see a dentist and photos full of fucking heart stickers. Do you understand? Lou smiled. Jonas, you are colossal. He was surprised. What do you mean? There are people who, no matter what position they hold, remain small because they are small inside, but you are giant. She spread her arms wide. This big. Your soul is this huge. The healer put out his cigarette. No, I am too sober for a conversation like this. Jonas briefly kissed her. Lou's expression suddenly changed. She sighed. How come you heal and kiss me, a murderer? Shouldn't you despise people like me? Her heart sank. She was speaking that way deliberately to hurt herself. The man shook his head. You talk a lot of shit sometimes. Lou raised her eyebrows. Why? Because. He touched her chin and hugged her. His hot breath pleasantly tickled her and he ran his lips along the edge of her ear. Because I can no longer exist without you, let alone live. Jonas gently beat her earlobe and added languidly, Let's go to bed, philosopher, or I will fall asleep standing up. They will not go. Okay, guys, this is not a love. This is just a cute. Not hot, but cute. Okay. It's okay. Smiling at his words, Lou playfully pushed Jonas in the chest. Let's go. Boring. Okay. Still, this episode didn't saved. The following day started very early and turned up to be a long one. Lou was awakened by a call from Beretti. The head of security was ordering the psionics to show up immediately. And then trouble started. First, Eva flew to a workers' village and checked whether there were enough guards left at an important medicine production plant. There, he had to speak briefly to the residents to reassure them that everything was under control in New Paris and that, contrary to rumors, no mass riots were taking place. Then, upon his return, the prior drove around the checkpoint's intermediary. Afterward, he had a meeting with the press and gave another short speech. Of course, as Martin was constantly surrounded by people, they had to be even more vigilant when guarding of him. In the evening, the psionics had a break. Eva returned to his office, called someone, and then listened to reports from interrogators Richard and Artie. By nightfall, he had to visit the checkpoints again to deal with some disagreements that had arisen between AC officers and high-ranking police officials. As a result, after a busy day of work, or rather almost a day and night of work, Lou returned home exhausted and hungry. She fell asleep, barely covering herself with a blanket. The following day didn't begin too early for the partners, but it still started quite unexpectedly. Monsieur Prior asked for an audience with the vicar. You leave in 20 minutes. Lou involuntarily tensed up. Did the prior give a reason why he called this meeting? No, I would have been surprised if he did. The partners looked at each other. Kay shrugged. Well, he knows what he is doing, right? I hope so. Jean-Francois greeted Martin with his habitual sympathetic tone. Ivo, hello. Vicar, you wanted to see me. I'm glad. I'm always happy to see you. How can I help you, my friend? Friend, well, it will be easier to speak honestly. What are you up to? Tell me, Vicar, do I serve the one as well as I should? The one is a god here, guys. Guys, believe me, soon on the episodes will be more interesting. Just this episode was a little bit boring. Absolutely, Ivo. Have my words or deeds ever given you a reason to doubt my loyalty? No. In my prayers, I always thank the one for sending us such a great defender of the faith through his grace. Why then do you not trust me with your plans, Vicar? I'm sure we could find a solution to any problem without me being killed. He said to him that he knew that Vicar wanted to kill him. Mirai vibes, you see it. He said it to his eyes. Angry face. Yes. Yes. What? This episode was not very interesting, so but little thank you only. Even with Jonas, wasn't interesting. Complete episode.